Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today is Matt Huff and Robbie Seal. And the other day we had your partners in here, Rooster and Chris Anderson, and
we sure did.
We talked about this gun and hoses softball game. So we want to kind of like really push this thing because it is like in the next day or two.
Yep,
this Saturday, the 25th. At high noon. It's kind of like the guns come out at high noon.
That's a good way to.
They always have a gunfight at high noon. So we're going to have a softball game against the guns, the sheriff's office, law enforcement. I guess the teams are going to be the sheriff's office, the police department, versus the fire and rescue.
Yes.
Whoever shows up. Those guys are sneaky. They're going to pull. Who knows what they're going to get? They got a lot of volunteers to choose from.
Yeah,
so they can have some ringers.
They've had a head start. They've been practicing probably for over a month or so.
And we were playing travel tournaments.
Oh, really? Even that? So
they've been traveling, playing in the.
Well, I heard they were sneaky. So They won't watch this, so they won't find out about our secrets here. So. Start it off, Robbie. Tell us a little bit about the game and get Matt in here because he's kind of like the ringleader.
Well, I think so. It goes back. My goodness, Matt, you actually knocked on our door here at the sheriff's office, wishing to speak with the sheriff about an idea he had to come up with a benefit softball game for first responder softball game to benefit a veteran. Now, of course, Matt's a veteran himself, and he's obviously being someone who served in our military, wanted to give back to some of the local veterans. So we had our talk. Actually, Sheriff Butler asked me to sit in on the talk, being in the community liaison, affiliated with the sheriff's office. So we listened to what Matt had to say, and he had a lot of excitement, exuberance, and a passion for what he had in mind. And I said, well, sure. I said I'd be happy to help out, as best I can, and hopefully get our team formulated and get involved. And so this is where we're at right now. So
I think what he had was, we could take this, we could win this thing. I know what he is. So Matt, you had this, woke up one day and had this dream that you were going to help a veteran.
As I tell everyone, you can tell I'm not from here speaking the way I speak.
You speak normal.
I'm from Tennessee, and back home, a lot of years they had this. They didn't have it annually or anything.
Sure.
But, you would see it pop up here or there. But it was just as a rivalry for the sheriff's department, fire department, so be it. I have a huge passion for our veterans. I don't think there's a lot done for them that should be done. So I just thought it would be a great idea to get the law enforcement out, you get the fire and EMS out. Hopefully we can get some public out there, get everybody mingling, and while we're at it, let's raise some money for a veteran and help some people out.
Right, now you do touch the base with Skip Rogers.
Yes,
with Able Forces. I mean, he really does a lot of work for veterans.
He has Able Forces Foundation. He also has Able Forces Professional Services. So his professional services takes care of all of his overhead for the foundation. So when you donate $100 to Able Forces, then the veterans get $100. It's not like you're any other organization where they have to worry about taking out for their overhead or their advertising. Skip makes sure all his is taken care of. So what you give to Skip is what our veterans receive.
Right.
So, that's a really big thing with Able Forces Foundation. Everything you give is what the veterans get. So I think that's very important.
That's good because he supports a lot of activities. We really appreciate that. That's one thing nice about our community. We just had earlier today, we had people from the Phoenix Project in, and again, I know you've worked with them.
Oh yeah, Tammy.
And just how our community supports all our organizations, and it really makes our community a much better place to live.
Not being from here and going out and talking to businesses and just talking to people in the community. I mean, they've accepted me, coming in to speak to them. And we've made sure that people that I speak to, Lieutenant Seal will go behind me and he'll send them an email letting them know. But at the same time,
who's this crazy guy coming here trying to sell?
Who's this hillbilly talking to me?
Well, what's so funny is I hate this. I would really love to see how he talked before he moved to Front Royal. You have to have an interpreter.
Yeah, well, it's bad. We have more cows than people back home. So. But, you know, like you were saying with the community, even from someone like me just going out in the community, the Front Royal really does that. I mean, it's not just a cliche or something.
Sure. It's
said.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is real.
But
here.
you know, it goes without saying, and Matt, just listening to you is you start, and Mike, you as well. When you start talking about the support that this community, or across the nation, that we have. I mean, and really more so when we start talking about our veterans. You know, somebody told me the other day. I guess what kind of support do they have, much like veterans, that does the community have toward law enforcement? And I pretty much, I tell you what, I said, I've been doing this, and I always say this, you know me, over almost 4 decades, 36 years going, and probably in the last 10 years is probably when I've seen more support for law enforcement than I've ever seen in the previous, years of my tenure. And it's gotten to the point now, what do we do when we see a veteran? How do we address them? What we do? We thank them. We thank them for their service. And there's not a day that goes by when I'm out in uniform that I hear the same thing from people now toward law enforcement. Thank you for your service. And so when somebody, that person asks me, what support does law enforcement have from the community? And I tell them, I said, let me tell you something. I said, much like I just said, I said, I get a thank you for your service, much like our veterans get, when we address them. So, I see the same thing happen with law enforcement that I see with our veterans. And the fact that our veterans, obviously
makes the day go a little easier, doesn't it? When you feel like your people appreciate. And I think everyone wants to be appreciated. Yeah. So,
but it's good to hear, and of course I just reciprocate back. Well, thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah.
So.
I think the big thing with it is, people that support the law enforcement and your first responders and your veterans, it's looking at something as you guys are putting your lives on the line for something. Nobody is forcing you to do that, but to know that I can walk out here every day because you guys are on the streets, or I can walk out here every day because of the 54,000 odd numbers in Vietnam and World War II and World War I. That if that doesn't hit home to you and resonate with you, then you probably need to check something here or there. So
and I had a staff meeting this morning, and just sort of going over what law enforcement does and what they're about, and of all things, in the staff meeting we're talking obviously with the COVID issues that we've been dealing with, going on 2 years now, and of course the vaccinations. And somebody spoke up and stated that, well, the reason they got their vaccination, and this is law enforcement in the room, and the reason they got their vaccination wasn't because they at first people have that choice of whether to get it or not. But he said, I got my vaccinations to keep my family safe. And that's what I did too. I mean, I didn't want to get the vaccination for my, just for myself. I said, I don't know whether I want to get it or not. But I did it for my family to keep them safe. And that kind of shows you, the mentality of a law enforcement officer. They'll put themselves first, with the unknowns out there, before they will, in protecting their family and the community.
Sure.
That's why I think it's huge that you make sure that you say thank you. Whether it's coming out to watch them mess up at the game or maybe do great at the game or what have you.
We're going to watch them get beat.
That's right. But, even if you don't come see us Saturday, if you see a vet or if you see EMS or law enforcement, tell them thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's all this Saturday high noon at Bing Crosby.
I know.
It's a fun
Mason's Field.
Mason Field, which is the softball field.
Oh, it's behind it.
Yeah, about next.
Well, it's right there in the Bing Crosby area.
Yeah, we wanted
if you're
Bing,
watching, we want you.
Yeah. But actually, and it's going to be a good day of fun and camaraderie.
It'll be great.
And we hope members of our public come out. You had a fundraising site that you had put online too.
Yeah, we have a GoFundMe page.
Yep.
Which is linked on your website,
Right.
Royal Examiner. Mike actually put us a card on there that has the GoFundMe.
Right. And we'll put that link below the video as well to it. So.
And we also have Facebook. We have the event on Facebook. My Information is on the link that's on there. We have these T-shirts for sale to help raise money for Able Forces also. So
That's a great looking T-shirt.
That is a great T-shirt.
you should talk to the guy that made it for me.
We won't say who that is, right?
I don't
We
know.
want to give him a plug. Give a plug, right?
Good job.
Well,
Good job.
it just, like you said, obviously we at the Royal Examiner love to promote the community. We want to make it a better place to live for all of us. There's a lot of good news out there, and we really appreciate people like you, Matt, that come forward, that come up with these things to do for our community. There's just so much stuff goes on. We got to pick and choose, but
Yes.
we want you to pick this Saturday, high
Yeah,
noon.
please do.
And come on out and watch our our law enforcement, our first responders play this softball game. Be a lot of fun, and if nothing else, you can yell for the ones that you want to win, and we know who that's going to be.
Yes.
It's not going to be rigged or
Yep,
anything.
nope,
I
not
know.
at all.
I bet you though somebody's going to have some stringers there that
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
are going to show up, and these guys will have their when they start wearing cleats to the game. You know that they a ringer.
I couldn't even begin. I have not played the game in 12 years, and I used to play 16 years back when I was younger. But yeah, I couldn't even tell you where my cleats are. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I found my glove and my bat, but I don't know where my cleats are. So
Well, when they show up with cleats, they're ringers. We know that.
I have some good information on this too. That if the public does come out, you guys
Will come when they
with
come
our
out.
sponsors. There's some pretty good gift cards to some restaurants around here.
Oh, that's right. We do
and-
have a few sponsors here. We
Yeah.
could mention those.
We have On Cue. They've been amazing for us.
Mm-hmm.
Morris Realty, Jeans Jewelers, Tana Hoffman over at Sager Realty,
Yeah.
Soul Mountain, the Apple House. We got a couple $50 gift cards to the Apple House.
So how are you going to give these away?
We're looking at I apologize, but we're looking at doing door prizes.
Okay.
If we can get it to where we could just sell the tickets, maybe like a $3 or $5 admission.
Sure.
If it doesn't work that way, then we'll just raffle it out or a silent auction. Either way, I promise you somebody in the stands is going home with we've got a free oil change. We've got gift certificates. There's plenty of stuff to be had.
That's
so.
great. That's what we
good
want.
deal.
Well, that's another reason to show up on Saturday, the
that's right.
25th. That's this Saturday, 12 noon in the Bing Crosby area. I didn't even know that softball team had a name.
Yeah, that field, the field I think has their
Has a
designated
name. Must have a sign there.
But
Well,
you talk about the foot soldier. This man has really
he beat the street, hadn't he?
gone above and beyond when it came to taking this this idea that he had, and he's the one who's put the.
Well, people have called me
boots
and
on
they
the
say, "Who is this Matt Huff guy?"
They should know because as much as I wish I've had like a bunch of people, but you have Lieutenant Seals been helping me tremendously, but he's got something he has to be at all day, every day.
Yeah.
So I've been beating on doors and everything by myself with a lot of help from you and Lieutenant Seals. So it's been a little rough, but we're going to get there. And this
All
is
right.
going to be every year.
Yeah.
So it's something we're going to see a while.
I appreciate that. Again, thanks so much, guys, for all the things you do, things at the sheriff's office, the events and stuff that you help put on and promote good things for our veterans. It's just a great thing to see in our community.
Well, Mike,
really
thank
good.
you for helping
Sure.
promote
Absolutely.
this. as
So
you
let's
always
get
do.
out there and come to the ball game
Yes,
on
come watch the ball
on
game.
Saturday.
And
All
root
right,
for the sheriff's office. Yes. Yeah.
we appreciate it. Thanks again, guys.